policing their own people.
Right.
Okay, so what I'm saying is,
I'm done white schools after.
And also what I'm saying, like we think we can get away and apply our loud American tactics overseas. There was a lady I covered on one of my shows. She literally went across seas and started yelling at men in their culture, trying to be in hyena as she was over here, and she got locked up. So those people, they will put you to the test of what you think you bring in, and like, no, our law, this is how it's going to be over here. So there's just certain things that we have to take a back seat to. It's not all about us. The world doesn't spin around us all the time, and we have to be considerate. And that's why we live in a world with other people other than ourselves.
Okay.
And we have so many.
So my point was just going to be. Well, hang on. My point was just going to be because Hamp was saying, you know, we in the United States, although the movement is relatively small for now. Relatively speaking, it's not small by numbers per se, but just on the grand scheme of things within the total populace of the United States, it's relatively small. But there is a concerted effort to take away women's rights, like the right to vote and the right to, you know what I'm saying, you know, just our basic shit, right to work and all that kind of stuff like that. There is a concerted effort politically for that. So if gone unchecked or whatever like that, then I would have to go on ahead and agree with Sherelle on that point where that fight is needed.
Question.
I don't know if necessarily about, you know, worldwide shit or anything like that. I just know that politically that is actually happening like right now.
Question.
That's all.
Question. What's the largest voting bloc? What's the largest voting bloc? Callie.
For now, it's women.
What's the largest voting bloc?
I'm assuming you're asking me because it's women right now.
I guess that's.
But just because, just because you vote,
okay,
just because you vote that way or whatever like that, that does not. No, hang on. Just because those people are in office that you voted for, they do not vote in favor of what it is that you put them in there for. And we all know this. Just because you put them in there to do something doesn't mean that they're actually going to do it. And they also bypass whatever it is that, no, I'm not speculating anything. Because they actually, no, because what they actually did though, even though I know you're not pro-choice and everything like that, right? They went on ahead and they put up a vote or whatever like that for, I forgot what state that was, whether or not they wanted to have be pro-choice or anti-abortion or whatever like that, and they still put forth legislation despite whatever it is that that the people voted for. They still put forth legislation, luckily for that state or whatever like that, because the will of the people did not want it. It was, it was voted down by the legislature. But what I'm saying is, and what I'm speaking to is that if there is a concerted effort to take away women's rights, despite whatever it is that the will of the people want and what they put them in there, or might not have put them in there for a different reason, but they're still on the back end doing some shit that ain't about, whatever. All right, go ahead. Believe what you want.
No, I'm saying, like, it's belaboring the point, right? I heard what you said. I'm just asking you, what's the largest voting bloc? And you edified me on the fact that people are selfish voters. They vote on one issue that concerns them the most, and people are not generally voting against their best interests.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the common sense thing.
And I understand.
And Callie taught me that, all that shit.
And I understand if someone has a concerted, if they want women not to have their vote, but then people have to vote for that to happen. That doesn't just happen. A loophole.
Nope. That's not how that works. Because people voted for people who voted on immigration, voted for the criminals, the actual people that are committing crimes, to go on ahead and be deported, and they're deporting people who have not committed crimes other than them being here illegally, and people who are actually on papers, who are on work visas,
Callie, shut the hell up, man. Like, dude, nobody is taking away your rights, man. I mean, and people understand, if you ask these women what rights are being taken away from them, they will always say, abortion. Being able to just yeet a baby because they are the ones who made a bad decision. Like, come on, bro. Like, we have got to stop with this stuff. Can you give me any other rights, man, that's being taken away from you? You can't name it. You can't name it. She couldn't even name it. And the funny thing about it is, the reason a lot of your men are saying women should have the rights revoked is because of what you just displayed, what she just displayed throughout this whole video. When y'all see it, you will understand why we are saying a lot of women do not need to have rights, for the simple fact that they can't even understand logic. They will prefer emotions over logic. But yet you're saying this person is okay enough to be able to vote, to be able to put somebody in office. Oh, well, there are some people that's not voting, that's voting against their best interest or whatever. Like, pretty much she's just explaining herself, right? I mean, like, we see your women who voted for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. We see how these women act. We see how these sisters are. These, like, literally your stereotypical liberal. Let's just give it a bean. Once again, I'm pretty sure she will sit here and lead with degrees and, oh, we're the most educated and we're this, we're that, but yet we have to treat you like a handicapped person. We have to always sit here and just be towards your feelings. If we disagree, we can't say nothing. Like, what type of mess is that? Once again, I only agree with A, B, and abortions, right? I only agree with that if it was grape, right? Or if the woman's life is on the line. I can understand that. But outside of that, and we do understand when it comes down to grape only makes up 1% of abortions. So it's just like, what are we talking about? Why are you trying to bring that up? Because, hey, guess what? It's going to tug on some strings. It's going to tug on some heartstrings. No, right? No, we need to regulate women who wants to just sit up here, man, and just yeet babies all left and right. Yes, some heavy restrictions. Once again, she and Pretty and Bo and Cardi B and Glorilla and the sisterhood prove why women do not need to be able to vote or have a lot of rights in here, because look at what they are doing. Look at what they're pushing. The sisterhood is in shambles. The sisterhood is literally on the damn panel as we speak. These women are children. Then when you look at the workforce, yes, we really don't want women in the workforce, because now we have to sit over here and deal with harassment. We have to sit over here and deal with intersectionality. And what I mean by harassment, women over here making up lies, or women, like, just the fact that you have to deal with it in the first place, that the fact that you have to create Title IX to protect women that truthfully don't even need to be in a lot of these businesses, because we literally have men who can do their jobs 10 times better. But hey, guess what? Because they want to work, we have to allow them to come in, and then we have to sit here and tailor everything around them. And it just takes away from the job. It takes away from working in a company. Sitting over here in a job, and we end up getting this new manager. She's, she plays for the other team, and you can tell she looks like a liberal day in and day out. You can just tell it from a mile away. She got a wife and all. Guess what one of the guys said? I mean, dang, I can't even freaking say what I really want to say anymore, bro. I mean, now that she's around, you have to literally watch what you say. This is why we don't want y'all in the workforce, because men don't have to sit here and watch what they say when they're around other men, but you only have to do that when they're around other women. That's the sad part about it. Another great example is Edward Jones, where I told y'all they had an incentive-based program where I think an assistant, a financial advisor, that's what it was, a financial advisor, if he gives his account to a minority or a woman, which they're only hiring and promoting women, you will get a $200 bonus or something like that. You will get incentives for giving your account over to somebody, right? But guess what? It leaves men vulnerable. Now men are sitting up here saying, well, what about us? We working just as hard, but you don't have an incentive to give me an account. You only have an incentive to give this person an account, which 9 times out of 10, I'm pretty sure that man was probably better than all of those women. But hey, guess what? Because they prioritize women, now we're messing up men. But the whole time, the reason we are allowing women to come in, the reason we allow women to do what they want to do is because of equality, because we don't want to discriminate, because we don't want to put somebody down. We want everything to be equal. But then you turn around and do a Senate-based program that's only for women. Who do you think that's going to affect? It's going to affect other people that aren't women. This is the main reason why we don't want women in the workforce. Let's continue.
Are actually being deported too. People, even Republicans, are complaining about that.
Okay, but you said
that's not what they voted for.
But wait, you said 2 things. You said that you kind of skipped that people being here illegally is not a crime. It is. So they
Dude,
can be
what I'm
can be disposed.
Nope, that's not, nope. They voted for people who are committing crimes to be deported, not law abiding.
What?
No, I'm just saying.
Look, that was the. I'm about to get real frustrated right now.
I'm not trying
what was campaigned on was for illegal citizens, illegal immigrants who are committing crimes, robbery, murder, breaking and entering, shit like that. That's what they voted for being deported. Okay? That's what was campaigned on. And then when you have people who are here on work visas who are getting deported, who are on paperwork getting deported, who are on DACA being deported, those people did not vote for that. Majority of them did not vote for that. And that's why those Republicans are complaining, because they voted in something that was not actually effectuated in the same way that was campaigned on, that was sold to them.
What about?
But you know, this happens in all election cycles, though.
No.
Excuse me?
You gotta.
I'm done.
You gotta reply to exactly what's being said, right? Because let me ask you, Callie, if they getting caught trespassing, would they get deported? Is that a crime?
That's not what was campaigned on.
Hold on.
We're not going to play.
Can you trespass? So can I come in to where you live and can you trespass me?
They campaigned on
property. No. Because
no.
You just don't have an understanding of how law works then, right? So
I know how law works.
Okay, then so you can trespass people if they're on property illegally, if you don't want them there, etc. Right? So do you think trespass doesn't exist when you cross a border that you're not supposed to? Breaking and entering?
That's not the crime that was campaigned on. No, but I'm telling you, that's not what was campaigned on. They said we're going to get rid of all the rapists and the murderers. Hey, you know what? Hey, if y'all don't know what was campaigned on, that's fine. And if y'all don't want to listen to what I'm saying, then that's fine. Okay? But you're not going to sit over here and play in my face and act like they were talking about fucking trespassers.
Wait, hold on.
You're not doing that.
Yeah, you can't.
Can I just respond? Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. But one thing Callie need to understand is that the disposition she has doesn't change anything for anybody. Everybody can still reply as they see fit and necessary, right? The argument isn't strengthened because of the attitude, right? So when you're committing crimes, They weren't saying only violent crimes. You mentioned
yes, they did. They actually did.
You mentioned. Here's the thing, right? Do you remember the Patriot Act when we all signed it?
Yeah, I remember that bullshit.
Did we read it, Callie?
No, we didn't.
Okay, so what happens is they campaign the things that pull on your emotions, right? But when you actually dig down into these bills, they cover a whole lot of shit. But of course, I'm gonna campaign on the thing that grabs your attention. That's just good marketing, and you know that you told me that people focus on one thing. You've taught me that literally.
Yes.
Like one issue voters. So yeah, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna get all the killers out. Niggas say stamp that shit. But it's illegals is who they getting out. But that's regular shit. Cal, real quick. Coco wanted to respond and you could talk his shit.
Yeah. So a campaign slogan is different than what the actual legislature has and what the actual
preaching to the choir.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, just because, and it happens in all presidential, not even just presidential, it happens in all campaigns for any seat in office. People are going to pull in your heartstrings, to get you to vote, and they're going to put in the legislature whatever that they want to put.
Right. So when those people that you vote for are campaigning on something else and they fuck around and take your rights, I don't want to hear shit.
But you're
don't talk to me then.
I'm
not jumping to anything. I'm literally describing the same shit, except it's women's rights instead.
But that's slightly different because
it's not.
Well, currently, is there any legislation that says or that's being proposed? I'm just asking the question. I don't know.
I'll see y'all later. Y'all not finna play in my face tonight. I will see y'all later. Goodbye, Hemp. It was a pleasure. I will see all of y'all later. Y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about. No, y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about right now. And y'all sitting over here playing in my face. Especially you, Coco, you playing in my face right now like you don't understand what the fuck I'm talking about. That's all good, okay? Hyena ban is in effect right now. I'm done. Good night.
I'm so sorry. I'm so lost. Like I really don't know. I really didn't know.
Didn't know what?
I don't know what she was talking about in terms of there's a legislation on the books for women not to be able to vote.
No, she was saying that there's a small what's the word I'm looking for? Not constituent. It's maybe a constituency that are trying to build a tumult against to repeal the 19th. And she's saying that it's small, but it's growing, but you have to repeal the 19th. That's why I was asking, like, what's the largest voting blocks and things of that nature. Even with Roe versus Wade, there's an interesting argument that Roe versus Wade itself was unconstitutional because it's the federal presiding over the states. And then they give it back to the states and let the people who actually live there be represented properly, So it's interesting, and she is right. There is a group of white men pushing that.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
That's
but
the thing.
It's small. I would even argue it's nominal, but things start that way all the time.
Yeah.
So that's her point. But that's why I was asking about the voting block, because you have to repeal it actually,
Once again, Bev, if you are an illegal immigrant, that's you breaking the law. But the fact that this chick right here she prefers her emotions. She prefers her emotions over valid points, over logic, and over facts. This just proves why we say a lot of your women do not need to have rights. This sister does not need to be having no voting rights. She don't need to be having any voting rights. She don't need to be speaking for anybody. She don't need to be speaking for because if this is how you're going to represent women, if this is how you're going to represent sisters, bro, you just need to be in the back. You don't need to be saying much, because all you're doing is just proving a point. You're just proving a stereotype to be true here, that a lot of your sisters are loud, rude, aggressive. When you don't agree with their point, they're going to turn on you. The fact that this sister sat here and thought everybody was turning on her, ma'am, it's a conversation. It's a conversation. Let's just say they want to be disingenuous because they don't want their point to be ruined. I mean, it's one thing to constantly do it every day, but let's just say, man, you just want to continue to argue that point. Just argue the point with them. Just argue the point with them. It makes for great dialogue. But damn, you sitting up here, bro, just proving our point that you can't even have conversations with these sisters, bro. You can't even sit here and do anything with these sisters because they only prefer the emotions over facts. And the fact that she's saying, women and people, they vote, against their interests and yada, yada, yada. I really care less for politics. Government runs politics and government runs America. So that's bottom line. Donald Trump don't have a final say so. The people who are above Donald Trump, they have final say so. But understand, these are the same women who sat here and fought for the LGBTQ and all of that stuff to be able to come into women's bathrooms. And this is where we have cases of some little girls having certain things done to them because a guy then said, hey, well, I think I'm a woman today. Guess what? This was all pushed by women.
Loudoun County, Virginia, a trans student was allowed into the women's bathroom where he assaulted a girl. They moved him to another school where he did it again. See Irvine, California last month, where a trans student entered the women's locker room and flashed the girls there. When they confronted him, he mercilessly beat them. This happened again in Gwinnett County, Georgia. This happened again in Oklahoma City. This happened again in Ohio, where a trans man was allowed to use the locker room where he was arrested for flashing little girls. The judge dropped the charges after he ruled that this man was too fat for them to see anything. In this city, a man using they, them pronouns hunted down and killed a female jogger because he, quote, wanted to look just...
Well, you guys had an opportunity tonight to be heroes, and you guys became zeros. So now I'm about to show you guys how uncomfortable it is for these young girls.
Point of order. We've asked that we use...
Oh, so wait. They're covered. You feel uncomfortable? Because that's what these young girls feel like when a boy walks into the locker room and starts unchanging in front of them. Yeah, you feel uncomfortable, right? Feel uncomfortable, huh? That's what these young girls feel like every time a young boy changes in front of them. You can look at me like that all you want. That's exactly how they feel. And you, Miss Muffy, oh, well, I don't know if I stand with girls or if I stand with my, with the So you don't care how young girls feel? You don't care about the safety of young kids? What about what happened in Virginia with that boy that raped a young girl in a bathroom, then got sent to another school and did it again?
Crazy.
What are we going to do when that happens here? How are you going to look that girl in the face and say, sorry, I didn't protect you? This is Maine's capital. We should be setting an example for the rest of the state. You know what example you guys are setting? That we do not care about the young girls in this state.
Exactly.
You guys care about politics.
Women were pushing men being able to jump into female sports and dominate that. Now you have a lot of women crying and upset, but it's like, okay, well, the same women that are upset, a lot of them were the same ones that were behind this whatever type of movement this stuff is, right? They were behind all of that. Now they're complaining about what they're able to. And see, and the funny thing about it is they always talk about, oh, well, we want safety and this and that for women, but yet you sitting here and you then enroll guys into the same sports. You talk about you want equality, but yet you put some guys up in your damn sport who even when they're sitting over here taking or even when they're taking estrogen or something, right, to make themselves weaker to be on par with a woman, they still dominate. And the crazy thing about it is, here's the funny thing about this thing, people. If you can take estrogen as a man to compete with women because you're already going to outclass them, so you're essentially taking away your own skill sets just so you can, I guess, appease some feelings, validate yourself or something. But yet they won't allow a woman to go into the NFL, go into a male-dominated sports, taking steroids, because that would be the equivalent. They may say, well, you got to take testosterone, da. Bone density is still going to be weak, but I mean, hey, that's just me. But this is the stuff that they push, and they want to cry and complain when it's their problem. Bev is your stereotypical sister that just can't argue, and she prefers emotions over feelings. And quite frankly with you, like I said, I don't really call sisters out their name, but this right here is a dumbass. I don't care what nobody say. This is a dumbass. After the shit she just pulled right here, but no, you get the conquest special. A matter of fact, no, double up the conquest special because like I said, what she did, that was egregious. But I mean, y'all guys let me know down below what y'all guys think. Do me a huge favor, leave me a like, let me comment, subscribe to the channel. To the next one.